It's a different world. Where you come from? Shout out to Aretha the Queen. A Different World, a sitcom that began as a Cosby Show spinoff, following Denise Huxtable as she would go on to her college journey at the historical HBCU Hillman College, where people still to this day believe is a real college. And lucky it is. I mean, it did raise a lot of black young adults, young black men's and women's. However, Denise Huxtable wasn't there for most of it. She was only there for one season, 1 year, as she would go on to get pregnant going into year 2, and Bill Cosby, the control freak that he is, an image-carrying person that he is, was like, no, we're not going to have a Denise Huxtable be pregnant on A Different World. No. And all according to Debbie Allen, who eventually became the showrunner of A Different World. And so Denise Huxtable leaves season 1 of A Different World, which A Different World in season 1, to be honest, was very bland. It was what's the word I'm looking for? It's food without seasoning. It didn't have no seasoning to it. And Debbie Allen, through the help of Cosby, saw that A Different World did need a new direction. It did need some flavor. It didn't need to feel like a real black college, at HBCU. It didn't have that feeling in the first year, which makes sense because a white showrunner was running the show, which makes sense because it was a person that wasn't of color running the show in the first season, and it showed. So Denise Huxtable is out. Whitley and Dwayne Wayne becomes the main characters. Plus you add the additions of, yo, that's crazy. Did I ever go to school? Plus you have the additions of Kim and Freddie, and you enhance the role of Ron and Mr. Gaines, and you have new characters like Colonel Taylor. You have recurring characters like Sinbad and Jaleesa, and you wind up having a great sitcom that tackled real life issues that not only young adults was going through, but what the black community was going through, whether it was racism, sexual abuse, police brutality, homelessness. A Different World covers so many freaking topics from so many different perspectives. Like, A Different World is so important, not only for sitcoms, but just in general for TV cinema. Like, we needed A Different World. We still need A Different World today. That's why I'm so excited at the potential return of A Different World during these current times. However, I always thought, how different would A Different World look had Denise Huxtable, aka Lisa Bonet, stayed at A Different World, or would have returned to A Different World? Well, today we're going to fantasize about what if Denise Huxtable returned to Hillman College to A Different World. Let's go. So first of all, there's no way that Bill Cosby would have allowed Denise Huxtable to be pregnant on A Different World. That just ain't happening. Not even in all fantasy of fantasies, that's just not happening. So I don't think Denise Huxtable would have been there for season 2. However, just like in real life, Denise Huxtable would have returned not for the 6th season of Cosby Show, which happened in 89, but the 3rd season of A Different World that happened in 89. So yes, Denise Huxtable makes her mighty return to A Different World, to Hillman College, for season 3 of A Different World, where we started off with Dwayne Wayne in the airport as he finds out that he has a plane delay and it's going to take him a little bit longer to make it back home and make it back to Hillman. Meanwhile, he runs into none other than Denise Huxtable, surprisingly, who just returned from Africa. So you have Dwayne Wayne and Denise Huxtable reunite, kind of starting back to where they were at the end of season 1. We catch up on what's been going on with Denise over the past year. We catch up with what's been going on with Dwayne Wayne and everybody going on at Hillman. Meanwhile, at Hillman, we keep everything the same with now the addition of co-ed dorms and all that craziness. We keep all that the same. So meanwhile, at the airport, Denise and Dwayne Wayne again are reminiscing about the good old days, and eventually it is revealed at the very end of episode 1, season 3, where Denise is like, I have something to tell you. I didn't know how to tell you. I've read all your letters. I'm sorry I didn't write back. And as soon as she's about to say what it is, walks in this man that picks up Denise, who turns out to be Denise's new husband. And Dwayne Wayne plays it cool, like, cool. Oh, hey, what's up? And of course, Dwayne's heart is broken, but he plays it cool and he chill. And Denise is like, so it's kind of like, in her face is like, sorry. And yeah, we met in Africa and it was love at first sight and we got married. And Dwayne Wayne's like, do your parents know? She's like, no. So yes, the big reveal is Denise has a new husband. However, the husband is not Lieutenant Martin Kendall. No. Denise's husband is someone who is African, not African American, African. So now we bring a new dynamic onto the show to where you have someone who's not from the States coming to the States, and now we are showing the dynamics of how different African Americans experience is and how the African experience is, and we kind of tell that story. I think that would be a dope new dynamic for the show. But not only that, Denise's husband's name is Shaza Zulu. Yeah. It's Shaza Zulu. So we're gonna have Shaza Zulu, who was played by Gary Dordan. We're gonna actually have him play as an African who's really from Africa. And we're gonna include him here. So yeah, he won't be the boo for Freddie, sorry. He's gonna actually be the husband of Denise here. Hopefully he can play African. So for the majority of season 3, Dwayne Wayne is trying to get over Denise, while Whitley is gaining stronger and stronger feelings for Dwayne. However, the dynamic between Whitley and Dwayne Wayne is kind of like season 1, to where it's a lot of tension. It's kind of like a Pam Martin relationship, to where they go at each other a lot and they go back and forth, kind of like Freddie and Ron to an extent, to where they always going at each other, and it's in love, but it's also like sexual tension there. And so that's what's going on throughout season 3. We get to the end of season 3 to where Denise and her husband Shaza is having issues, as Shaza has kind of had a hard time adjusting to the American experience and still has some old school low-key misogynist views that Denise has been trying to overlook and overcome, but now it's coming to a head to where potentially Denise is thinking about divorcing Shaza, but she goes to Dwayne, who Dwayne is like, y'all in love, like you gotta do what you gotta do for the person you love. The main thing Dwayne Wayne tells, why can't I just say Dwayne? It has to be Dwayne Wayne. The main thing Dwayne tells Denise is you have to fight for love. Trust me, if anybody knows about not doing what you should do and fighting for love is me, you gotta fight for love. And Denise is like, thanks, Dwayne. And Dwayne and Denise kiss, which Whitley, who was going to finally boss up, woman up, and confess her love for Dwayne, and Shaza, who was like, you know what, I've been messing up and I need to get my act together, was going to apologize to Denise. both see them kiss, and now that's how you end season 3 with Denise and Dwayne. Like, oh my God, oh, what just happened? What did we do? Now we're going to season 4. Season 4, now the tension is between Shaza and Dwayne. Shaza eventually forgives Denise for her kissing Dwayne. Meanwhile, Dwayne is realizing his feelings for Whitley. However, the problem is Whitley has a new boo by the name of Julian. So now it is Dwayne that is chasing Whitley. Meanwhile, in the beginning of season 4, Shaza's ex drops by. Yes, Shaza does have an ex, not only an ex, but an ex-wife who drops off a little girl who turns out to be Olivia. Now, Shaza actually did get with a different American girl back in the day. Come to find out that Shaza did spend a little time in the States, got a girl pregnant, and then went back to Africa. Now, it wasn't on some creep shit, it's just on some, they figured it would be best for the child to live in the States. Meanwhile, Shaza needed to go back to his homeland to take care of his family while his father was sick and eventually passed. So they made a decision together that Shaza will go back to Africa and their child will stay in the States and be born American. And that's where we get Olivia, which will be Raven-Symoné. So now Denise has to be a mother to Olivia in season 4 of A Different World. And so Denise learns how to be a mom throughout season 4, meanwhile still trying to balance being a student and trying to get her grades up, which we all know Denise had her issues with that. Eventually, Dwayne, Wayne, and Whitley do get together in season 4 and become a couple. Meanwhile, at the end of season 4, we do have Sinbad that eventually is going to leave the show, as in real life, he left to pursue his own sitcom, which will be Sinbad, which one day we might have to do a video on that. But Sinbad will wind up leaving, and instead of him leaving by himself, he leaves with Jaleesa. Yes, Jaleesa and Sinbad, to me, I love their dynamic. I love them as a couple. To me, they fit perfectly together as like the adults in the room that weren't too overbearing, felt still playful, but yet mature. So I think Sinbad and Jaleesa deciding to finally get married for real this time in season 4 and then leaving, I think is a perfect way to end those character arcs. And we don't get Jaleesa and Sinbad for the rest of the series, unfortunately, but I think that was the best route instead of having Jaleesa get with Colonel Taylor, which never made sense to me. I always felt a way about, and like it just never fit, and I just didn't believe. And also at the tail end of season 4, we have a graduation with Dwayne Wayne, Ron, and Whitley as they graduate from Hillman. I think we were old to get that graduation scene. I know people think, oh, we should do that in series finale. No, we could do it here. And I think the big bomb in the end of season 4 is the mama, which is Saza's baby mama, returns wanting her baby Olivia back. And Denise doesn't want to give up Olivia. And that's how we end season 4. Going into season 5, it is really drama filled as Denise and Shaza and the baby mom come to a conclusion to where the baby mom is low-key living with them as a compromise. And so now we have that dynamic of Denise and the baby mom bumping heads throughout all of season 5. And Denise is like, bro, this is not gonna work. Like, she gotta find somewhere to live, dog. Meanwhile, Whitley and Dwayne Wayne get engaged, and now they're going to get married. And then you still have the whole hoopla of them breaking up. Not Barack. I'm about to call this nigga Barack. That's hilarious. Because low-key, what his character was. You have, what that nigga name? Barrett? Was it Barrett? No, what was that nigga name? What was his nigga name? Hold on. That's right, Byron Douglas. Yeah, we will be a Byron. Okay, yeah. So yeah, Byron Douglas comes into the mix in season 5, sweeps Willie off her feet, and now they get engaged at the end of season 5, and are going to get married at the end of season 5. You still have probably the best episode of the entire series with Whitley and Dwayne Wayne finally getting married in a very unorthodox way. Meanwhile, Denise can't make it. She misses the flight there because she finds out a little bit of her own news, which is she's pregnant. Which the baby mom is the one that raises the red flag to Denise that she might be pregnant, and finds out how she is. Meanwhile, right before that, the baby mom, I should probably come up with a name for her, but I can't. The baby mom is like, she sees the dynamic between Denise, Shazza, and Olivia, and is like, you know what? I want her to have a stable home, and I don't want to mess that up. So I'm going to have my own place, my own apartment around, very close by, and we'll work out an arrangement that way, but I don't want to come between you and your marriage. And Olivia seems to be very happy here with both Shazza and Denise. And so we conclude that as well, where we don't really see the baby mom really at all in season 6. But yeah, season 6, we do not get Ron and Freddie. I'm sorry, I know some people might really love that dynamic. It's like a Democrat getting rid of a Republican, or an atheist getting with a Christian. Like that just doesn't add up. In real life, that doesn't really happen. Like if they're too philosophically different. They're too different to, I think, work in real life. So I don't really see that dynamic working. However, Ron and Kim do work out, as Kim rubs off on Ron to take his life and career more serious. Meanwhile, Ron rubs off on Kim to not take her career and life so serious. So I think that dynamic still works. We just they need to have a little bit better chemistry. Meanwhile, with Freddie, this might be very controversial, but it will be a different world thing to do. Is Freddie does not find a man, but she finds a woman that she falls in love with. And we actually address in the final season the dynamic of homosexuality and LGBTQ plus in the final season. I mean, we're gonna go out. Let's go out with a bang, baby. Now I think Freddie, because she's so free-spirited, that it makes all the sense in the world that she might explore that. And I think that would be dope to see on TV, which I don't think we ever really saw, not until like maybe Ellen. We really got that. I think that would be for a couple more years to like 97. And so I think that would be kind of cool to explore that. Throughout the rest of season 6, Denise is pregnant and she's worried about how good of a mother she'll be, even though she has Olivia. But now it's like she has to start from ground zero. Olivia was grown when she met her. How well would she really be of a mother? And she's trying to deal with all that and all the trials and tribulations of being pregnant. But Denise does figure out in the final season, I think season 5, season 6, that she wants to be a writer. She loves to be creative and she loves to explore the unknown and all these different things. So she finds out she wants to be in journalism. She wants to be a writer in the final season, which leads to the last episode where everything basically stays the same except Ron proposes to Kim and Kim says yes. Dwayne Wayne gets the job in Konnichiwa in Japan, and so Whitley and Dwayne Wayne are now moving to Japan, and also Whitley is pregnant as well. Meanwhile, Denise, Freddie, Kim are the ones that graduate in the final moments of the series as Kim is the valedictorian. Kim gives her speech at the very end and talks about all the different characters within the show, the people that are no longer there, people that are still present, even the new people that came in season 5 and 6. And then in the final moments, we have Denise reminiscing about the good old days and reminiscing about, what her future could be as her water breaks at graduation. And so they rush her to the hospital and she has her baby. And this is where we actually get the Cosbys there. So, of course, and in the final moments, Claire tells Denise, well, welcome to a different world. And that's how we end A Different World. If Denise would have returned or stayed on the show.